we're back for our 4th live, and in this video we want to talk about why we're combining our spiritual gifts and bringing this to you. Well, for us, we didn't know how this path was going to converge, and as Francis was sharing in the last live, it was something that originally he was doing gematria just kind of personally, you know, like the lottery numbers, repeating numbers he saw for our family, looking at my numbers, our daughter's numbers, our older children's numbers. And it was just like, you know, a way of God universe or speaking to us. And that's kind of what it started as. But now, as I've really been much more public and open about my spiritual gifts in the last, 6 months to a year, well, about 8 months now, and Francis has been doing this personally, it became really clear that our next step was to be able to do this together and to really harness the synergism of our gifts, which is, just another reason why we're doing it together, right? Like, we're not just partners and spouses and co-parents, but we're also here to share our gifts together, so that you can know through our unique gifts how important you are. And that's the ultimate purpose of all this, is that you would know how special, how important, how incredible, how amazing you are. So my spiritual gifts are, I am a channeler of the divine, I'm a prophetess, I'm a seer. I have what I call a screen on my right periphery, where I receive text and images and scenes directly from God, source, the divine. And it's been happening for a long time. And the more that I've really leaned into trusting what comes through, trusting myself initially 5 years ago that this was something that was happening, and then really listening into what God was saying, then it became clear it wasn't just for the messages. Like for Francis, the messages weren't just for me and my family, but the messages were actually for you as well. And so now I read for people. I do coaching containers where I am supporting people to become really grounded in their own intuition and their own knowing, because we are all channels. This is the particular nature in which it happens for me, but really we are all meant to have that deep and direct connection with God, and we get that through our intuition and through being grounded in our intuition. And so my focus in the coaching work that I do, in the reading work that I do, is for people to really own who they are and their authenticity, and in doing so they deepen their intuitive connection with God, and their intuitive channel becomes very clear, and then they're able to unlock and unleash and share their gifts with the world, their spiritual gifts, and other gifts that they're here to bring to the world. And so the private clients that I work with are doing like incredible things. Their lives are changing at light speed. I have a client that I've been working now with for 2 months, and to see the life that they had 2 months ago versus the life they had now it's like night and day. It's just incredible. And it's not because of me. I'm a support to them. I'm part of their team, but it's them. And so the whole point of my work in the world is to help you become all of you, because that's how you bless the world and are of greatest and deepest service. And so we wanted to make this particular offering called Duo. And by the way, Francis also, and you can talk about it further if you want, Francis also does full-length gematric readings. This particular offering that we're sharing with you today is a mini reading. But Francis also does full-length readings, which are like, how long are they? We talked about it in the first live, I think.
Probably like 30 pages.
About 30 pages, so 20 to 30 pages, sometimes longer. And I think we always chuckle because I think you could write for much longer than that.
Yeah, that's just an initial reading.
Yeah.
30 pages is really,
just kind of like getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea is for someone to actually, pursue that,
like
even further.
Yeah,
pursue
like
that, yeah.
Take what's in that initial reading and
Exactly,
go beyond it. Yeah, so these mini readings are just like a bite-sized piece for you to get started. And the mini readings, it's called Duo because it's both of us coming together to share. So Francis does the 1 to 3 page based on your name and your birth date and your birth time, but just a very small, simple guide, right? Like, here's some initial intuitive read based on this, based on the gematria of your name and your birth date and your birth time. And then what I do is I do a 10 to 15 minute recorded intuitive reflection on the gematria. And that is what we share with you. But one of the things that we wanted to talk about is that this is in no way fatalistic, right? This is always about resonance. This is always about intuitive resonance. So what we're sharing is what we're intuitively guided to share with you. And then you get to respond to that. And whatever is intuitively resonant with you is what you take. And everything else you toss. Most of the time, because we're doing this in the energy of and spirit of synergism, what we're saying is very resonant. In fact, that's been the case across the board for the most part. Sometimes it's that it's not resonant, or it's not the right timing for it to be resonant, or whatever. But 99% of the time it's right on, and the person receives it as resonant. But if in any way, shape, or form, and this goes for any reading you ever have done with in any way, if it doesn't resonate, toss it out. There's no room for fatalism in this. There's no room for something being put upon you. You have complete and total freedom, and you know if it's resonant if you're like, I like that. That lights me up. Oh, I get that. Right? Do you notice that happens with the numbers, right? Like what because even in our process, right? One of the things that Francis always shares with me is like, and you know, I don't want to speak for you, so you can add to it, but Francis always shares that, you know, when he's doing these charts and it's an intuitive process for him, he's led in certain directions, and trusting that being led in the different directions is because it's perfect for you, right? It's perfect for the person that he's reading for. And it's really pretty mind-blowing what comes up. But the process of reading, it's like, sometimes Francis says, like, I don't even know how I got here. Like, it just sort of like happened.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So like, you know, it just becomes this like incredible, like, we're being guided in this powerful way for you. And so that you can be even more of all of you, and to know and trust that like you are here. I mean, and for those of us who are in the spiritual world or have been in the coaching world, like, to know that what we're doing and to have confirmation and resonance is really powerful. And for those of you who aren't, you know, part of the coaching world, or maybe haven't gone through a spiritual awakening, or, you know, unlocked your spiritual gifts yet, this is an opportunity for you to kind of take a deep dive into that. So it's really for everyone. Like, it's really a beautiful offering for everyone. And right now, today only, we're doing them for $155. And so if you want in, go ahead and grab them at $155. They take about 24 to 48 hours to get back to you. So they're pretty fast. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think if there's anything I could add, just to your to your point about the intuition. It's like, for us, I mean, I think it's good to bear in mind that we were kind of moving in one direction up till maybe 2017, 2018, and then from there, in just sort of pursuing and following that resonance, you know, it's like we did kind of a 180. I mean, and we didn't even realize it until, you know, looking at it, you know, retrospectively. But I couldn't imagine, you know, you were definitely in a different track, different direction, you know,
Oh, completely.
before then. And then just kind of following the, like, as you're saying, resonance after resonance, intuition after intuition, you know, suddenly you look back and you're in a different place. And I think, you know, and like this is the farthest thing that I thought I would be doing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, really, you know, in fact, actually what I was doing before was, you know, could be construed as diametrically opposed to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You know, before, what I was doing is I actually I was a teacher, and I taught mostly logic and critical thinking, and, you know, being really hard-headed about things, you know. And I would have never dreamt that I would be, you know, that's how I would be leading my life, and you know, and you know, we already talked about the gematria, that it would be mostly just by this resonance, this intuition. So, I mean, it's a full 180. I just
Oh,
wanted
for
to
sure.
add that. Yeah.
Actually, that's like so important because yeah, we were totally going in a different direction. We were very in our heads, and that's not how this life is actually intended to be lived. And so, it really has been a 180, complete and total shift, and there ain't no turning back because it's amazing. So, we want to share our magic with you. Okay, we'll see you at the next live. Bye.